Hi everyone, my name is Rhiannon Jenkins, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm your Student Union President. This year already I've been working on the cost of living crisis and trying to alleviate some of the impact that it might be having on you as students. Co-working with DMU, I've written to the local MPs and had a meeting with Liz Kendall and John Ashworth asking them to meet with students in the new year and write on our behalf to members of the Treasury and Department of Education advocating for students to be included in the next cost of living support budget from the government. As well as that, I've also worked with the university to introduce the Cost of Living Hub, which is a website that has a one-stop shop for all of the support you need related to the cost of living. This includes the Cost of Living Award, which we asked the university to introduce, which allows students with a household income of under £50,000 a year to be immediately eligible for a £200 one-off payment, and for students in a household income over £50,000 to be eligible for a one-off £100 payment with a supporting statement. This Cost of Living Award is in addition to the hardship fund that's available to students and the opportunities and inclusion funds that Archie reintroduced this year with Jack. I'm really happy that the university has been supportive of this, and make sure you listen to Hoor's update to find out what she's been doing on cost of living too. Next, I've also been working on Sticky Campus, which you might have heard of before. This is a long-term project, but I'm really excited that this term all of the actions from previous conference have been implemented across campus, and we've also held our second conference with over 50 students, asking you guys what you'd like to see in terms of events, facilities and digital improvements. All of the information from this is currently being collated and will be taken forwards into an action plan with the university that they will budget and make sure is introduced over the upcoming weeks. We'll definitely keep you updated. Last but not least, I successfully put through my passport scheme, which seeks to reward and recognise the work that students do to engage with opportunities across campus. This has been in collaboration with Archie and Jack, and I'm really happy to say that 100% of Team Leicester clubs have engaged with it. We've also seen a proportion of our other societies get involved. We're really excited to have more exciting prizes coming up in the next year and see more events advertised. If you've got anything that you want to be stampable, let us know and we can get it on the passport scheme.
Hey everyone, my name's Archie, my pronouns are he, him, and these are my semester successes for my first semester in office as your sports officer. So first of all, when I started back in June, I was able to look at the processes of coaching and how the coaching system worked at the University of Leicester. As most of you might know, those involved in sport, we moved over to Unitemps, and I had some say in how we were able to go about this. And also my idea of introducing the free pay grades was took on board as soon as I started, really, even though they were already kind of looking at this. And that was probably my first success as I came into role, as the university had already been looking at it for over a year. So coming into this role with it on my manifesto, updating the coaching system, was perfect to get a quick win at the start of my semester. I then swiftly moved on to creating a compulsory club ethos, and this was introduced, and it was a small ethos that I collected from a group of Team Leicester members and what they thought our Team Leicester values should be. And this was implemented on the SU website, so when people bought their memberships, they had to agree to this ethos that was created by students and facilitated by myself. This went down as a big success, as this year a lot of students have fed back saying they feel as though that the ethos was what they thought it should represent, and we have seen an increase in members in Team Leicester this year as well, following last year. So yeah, then I moved on to organising and helping arrange the facility arrangements for this year. So I was in the talks with Team Leicester to help provide our student groups and sport groups with their actual facility arrangements for the training and matches. On previous years, this was done on what the club's historic needs were, whereas this year we made sure that everyone had the equal opportunities of their first and kind of second choice facility arrangements and times, which has enabled a lot more clubs to have better access to facilities at better times that suit them, engaging more members and stuff like that. I was then started my work on the free bus scheme, which took a little bit of a while to push through, but we finally got there in the end. And we started with it just being the Team Leicester supporter bus. So I spoke with campus services and estates, and they allowed us to have the bus free on a Wednesday afternoon to get us down to Stone Road to support our books teams. But we quickly realised that we had a gap where students needed to get to Oadby more frequently, as well as some staff as well. So working with campus estates, we were able to provide from now, hopefully, and set the standard going forward, a free travel to and from Oadby to connect our two kind of campus-based students. I then focused on the Wellbeing Wednesdays. From my experience being in high-level sport, I wanted to make sure I could give back to our student amateur athletes who may have played sport for the first time, focusing on topics such as performance anxiety and being able to measure your own success in sport. These have gone down really well, and I hope to continue doing one per month until I finish my time in office, just so that students can look back to them where needed. The relevant signposting is there, and it really just is there to support students who may have only been playing sport for the first time when coming to university. From that, I spoke to Swimming and Water Polo Club and Team Leicester, and we were able to continue our Let's Do Leicester programme for swimming lessons, which is a big success because I think swimming is very underappreciated. It's a life-saving skill, and it helps us reach a lot of demographics who may not have had the chance to learn how to swim when they were younger. So being able to continue that and having Swallow so involved and being able to continue that for more years is really good. As well, in the summer, I was able to revamp the Sports Council model. In previous years, we've only had 5 students on the Sports Council, most of them sharing very similar roles, whereas this year I made sure that we had kind of a membership of 12 students with very specific remits, so they could have a core focus on what they wanted to do within that remit. For example, we have accessibility officers, so they focus on how we can improve and offer students more accessible sport and offer. We also have our kit ambassadors who work with us to make sure that our kit offer going forward is as inclusive and as what we want to be. Revamping that Sports Council model is being kind of exemplified by the fact that they've come together and are wanting to put on their own projects, such as the Movember Sports Council tournament, which was held in November. We raised over £250 for charity, as well as having over 200 students in attendance, which was a really successful event. So having them do stuff like that is really good, and it's really good for their CVs and employability skills going forward. As well as this, in the summer I was able to reinstate the activities minibus. For those students who don't know, the minibus scheme was something we had a couple of years ago, which allows student groups and sports clubs to use the bus and hire the bus when needed to travel to do extracurricular activities, whether it's going with the mountaineering club on a hike somewhere in a Peak District, or just get into some competitions that we aren't able to provide travel for at Leicester. So being able to reintroduce that after 6 or 7 clubs brought a proposal forward to me to help them, but reinstating that, allowing our clubs and societies to do them extracurricular activities that may not be in the Leicestershire area has been really positive. A big push this year for me has been working on providing more recognition in sport. So continuing the work that Georgia did last year on the Sports Person of the Month, incentivising that by providing whoever wins 2 Leicester Tigers tickets, ensuring that everyone is able to have some recognition. It doesn't matter whether they win matches or not, it's more about their commitment to Team Leicester and their commitment to their club. I've also introduced a Team of the Week, so this is chosen by myself and Team Leicester on every Monday morning, following all the books results of the week. I've also introduced, alongside the engagement scheme with Rhiannon and Jack, a fixture of the week, and this is held every week so that a group of students can go down and watch a specific fixture in exchange for a stamp in their passport, which means that we can get more people going out to support our books teams each week, which again really helps with our community and engagement piece with our sports groups. And finally, I've managed to get my sports leadership programme fully funded. So working with Nick, our Liberation Officer, we've managed to secure £5,000 to give our Liberation groups opportunities to gain their coaching qualifications, allowing us to give equal opportunities to all of our students on campus. This is really important as it allows us to really upskill certain students who may not have had previous opportunities to do so. But that was my semester successes so far. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and hopefully there's more to come in semester 2.
Hi everyone, it's Hoor here, your SU Wellbeing Officer. My pronouns are she, her, and over semester 1, some of the things that I've been up to have been, first and foremost, the free breakfast initiative that I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of promo about in the last few weeks. Back in October, I did a trial where 300 of you turned up and shared with me your feedback and your thoughts on the provision, and I'm really pleased to say that on the back of that, I've been able to take that back to the university and actually secure long-term funding for that to continue all the way through to the end of March. March. That's been running for the last 3 weeks now. We're in the third week now, and so many of you have been turning up, over 85 of you every day, so thank you so much for turning up, and it's going to run until March. Another thing that I've been working on since Freshers' time has been spiking awareness. This is something that I've been collaborating with the University Security on. Back in Freshers' time, the University Security team were very kind and agreed to do a trial of a spiking awareness campaign where they would go and engage with you guys when you were going on your nights out and queuing for various events at the O2 and engage with you in discussion and awareness about spiking. They'll also be working with me in the next semester to hopefully get some test kits in various places for you guys to access. More info will be available as and when that provision is set up, but really excited to bring that to you guys. A smoke-free campus is something that the university have introduced over the last few years based on student and staff feedback to make sure that there's allocated spaces across campus for students and staff to use for smoking. A smoking shelter has been introduced near the library, and I've been really happy to have worked with the university communications department and various stakeholders on actually recording a reel for that and actually signposting you to where that shelter is now placed. Since I started this role back in July, I've been sitting on the People, EDI and Wellbeing Committee. This is comprised of myself and Nick, your Liberation Officer, alongside various stakeholders from the university. Nishan, the Vice Chancellor, also sits on this, and we update each other on the work being done across Students' Union, across the university. We also have external bodies sitting on this board, and we shared our collaborative priorities for the year with him and with the board. They're very pleased, and again we continue to raise all the issues that you raised to us back, and they go directly into this meeting and all the way up to the VC, so rest assured anything you bring to us is always raised to the highest levels possible. We make the most noise about the issues that you care about. One of the biggest that I've been working on with the estates team as of late has been to support medical students with their accommodation issues that they were having because of their exam timetables being slightly different to all of the rest of the students. So we've been working to devise bespoke offerings for them to have accommodation and not have to move out and worry about those things whilst they're doing their exams. So more info on accommodation can be found soon, and hopefully that should be sorted. But if you do have any issues, please do reach out. I'm more than happy to help. I've been working with estates again to work on period poverty and the expansion of the period provision that we've already had on campus. So you may notice across PCG and various other buildings that the current branding of the period products that we offer has been covered up. This is because I believe that the current provider that we're using, which is Hey Girls, is not the most inclusive offering and is not the most inclusive branding, and I know that this has meant that some students do not feel comfortable using this, so this is an issue that I'm very keen to work on, and in the meantime, once we do move to a new sort of supply in the new year and in future academic years, the branding has been covered up. If you do see any issues with any branding not being covered up, please again do let me know. I'll be happy to chase up on that. That's a bit of what I've been up to this semester. If you do have any suggestions for what you'd like me to work on next semester, or you'd like to know more, please do reach out on Instagram via Lex Wellbeing, or visit me in the office, and yeah, I'll see you next semester. Bye.
Hey everyone, my name is Nick, my pronouns are they, he, and I'm your Liberation Officer. So here are some of my semester 1 successes. First thing that I did was I took a bunch of black students to the Black Student Matter conference, which was in Birmingham City, SU. This was really good. We had the former NUS president come and talk about decolonization. We spoke about ways in which that we could create a better environment for black students across the country, and it was really, really well received. Black History Month then came up. We had a bunch of events such as the Barbershop, Wellbeing Wednesday, Black Girls Detox. We had external companies, external organizations come in, and it was really well received. Individuals, students definitely love these events, and hopefully we'll be having more of those throughout the year in semester 2. I've been collaborating with AnneMarie, our education officer, on mitigating circumstances. There has been a bunch of changes that we have worked on, and we have created a reel on our Instagram page, Leicester Union, as well as AnneMarie's education page, Less Edu, to look at all of the changes so you are aware of the different ways in which you can now apply for mitigating circumstances. I've also been working on the Let's Decolonize campaign. This started off at the end of October with our open evening. Students came, we did an introduction on what decolonization actually is. Then we had another event called Black Trans Joy. This was a bunch of panelists who spoke about their experiences of being black and trans in the UK and ways in which they do radical self-care. Keep your eye out for some merchandise which will be coming out in the next semester. I've been working really hard to make sure that there is an expansion of gender options on my student record. So phase 1 has happened. Students are now able to use the option as other if they do not identify as male or female. I'm now working on making sure that there is a self-identification text box for individuals to type in what their gender is. So hopefully that will happen in the next semester. Trans Day of Remembrance also happened in November, and we held a vigil in collaboration with DMU. Students also came forward and they did a stall for Trans Day of Remembrance where individuals were able to light a candle, write some notes, just on how to support and show solidarity for the trans community. Disability History Month and International Day of Disabled People happened in December, and we had a stall with the university where individuals were able to come and talk to the SU about the things that we do, learn a little bit more about the campaigns that we are doing for students, our disabled students, and that was really well received. I also continued to do the LGBT+ allyship training for students. And there have been sessions that have been happening during December, and in the next semester I will also be making sure that there are more sessions available during LGBT History Month and so on. I've also been working on the LGBT allyship training for staff members. So on SharePoint, staff are now able to see an LGBT toolkit which gives them resources and information and signposting for LGBT issues. In collaboration with our research coordinator, I launched a LGBT housing survey. This was to check the appetite for our LGBT students to see whether they would want an LGBT+ only space within accommodation. The next step in this survey is to look at all the data that we have got and to draw up a proposal for the estates to show them what LGBT students actually want in terms of accommodation. Also spoke about the pronoun survey. So phase 1 has closed, and in semester 2 we'll be moving on to phase 2. This is opening the survey for nationwide for any university to collect this data so we can see the types of pronouns that students are using on campus. We've also launched Queer Corner. This is a space within our Leicester Union website where LGBT individuals can write blog posts about lifestyle, advice, just top tips, and this is now open. There is an email address, queercorner@leicester.ac.uk. So if you would like to make a submission, please use this email and we can have your amazing work on the website.
Hi, my name's AnneMarie, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm your education officer. These are my semester successes. So all throughout the first term, I've had my regular meetings with not only university and union staff, but also subgroups and committees, such as Education Committee and Learning Environment and Teaching Spaces Committee, where we discuss the points that you raised to me about concerns you have. Second thing I've been up to is supporting Nick on decolonization and curriculum consultants. We're happy to say that we have quite a few curriculum consultants this year undergoing numerous projects which will help improve our university. My next success this term is working on implementing the new self-certification and updated mitigating circumstances policy with the university. I'm happy to say that this policy has been created and is now gone out to students, and we are currently circulating more communications on how to best use this system. The next success is with your assessments policy. Throughout the summer, I was raising your concerns to the university about the aspects of online assessments that you liked. The new assessment scheme has launched this term and has gone quite well. We have heard about some issues where there aren't mock assessments being released, but have quickly addressed those with the schools, and so those have all gone out now. Another big part of my job is attending numerous conferences, forums, and catch-ups with different groups of people. So I've attended numerous conferences and forums with Wonky and also the Office for Students, just to discuss concerns and ideas and solutions and to discuss best practice. The next success is that the Education Toolkit has been launched, and you can find it on the Leicester Union website. This toolkit aims to break down our policies surrounding our education that are confusing, and they help you figure out where to go or who to contact for your concerns. Alongside this, Education Explained has also been launched, which is an Instagram graphic that helps break down these policies further, such as the mitigating circumstances policy, the assessments policy, and look forward to us breaking down Senate Regulation 11. Lastly, a massive success we've had this term is the academic representation system. So we implemented a new system providing payment and incentives to reps. We've also held 2 very successful academic rep forums, and all your concerns and issues that you have raised to your course reps and they have raised through these forums are being worked on and addressed with the university. Finally, another success is TEF. The TEF survey has finally closed and we had over 900 respondents, which is incredible. Rhiannon and I are really excited about that, and we're currently collating the document to present to the Office for Students.
Hi everyone, my name's Jack. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm the Activities Officer this year. The first thing I wanted to talk about is Societies Council, which is everything relating to new student groups and grant funding applications, and my work on that to make it as simple and efficient as possible. If you want to see more information on that, you can see the previous update videos that I've done, but essentially the current up-to-date news is that grant fundings were incredibly successful. We had a lot of applications and we may need to consider getting more funding from the university to support more student groups. We are also launching the new Student Group Starter Fund in January, so all new student groups from April 2022 to now and for the rest of this academic year will be able to get £100 into their fundraising account depending on how much money they had when they started. Another thing I wanted to talk about was associations. So essentially that allows student groups to come together to form a collaborative associative body. That project is on pause at the moment due to staff shortages in the activities team, but we'll be getting back to that in the new term. The next thing I wanted to talk about was room bookings and facilities on campus, which is something I'm working on to make it so that facilities and resources on campus are more available and accessible to students. At the moment, there's been some good progress on that. The university promised that they would revamp Resource Booker, which is a system we use to book rooms, and that will fully launch in January when the porters, who are the ones who deal with the room setup, they learn how to use the system, and then we can finally make it so that it's a lot easier for everyone, including SU staff, and if it's easier for us and easier for university staff, it's easier for students as well. It should make the system a lot easier. The second part of that was making meeting rooms more easily bookable, sort of like how the library works, which was also promised by the university. That will be something that comes next semester. It just needs to be kicked into gear. Another element to this that I wanted to do was having sort of events checklist. Recently the events team actually created their own checklist for staff at the university. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to edit it for students to use. So essentially, if you wanted to book out a space, like say the SU Square, you might know who to contact, where to go, and other things like that, maybe the costs, if it's beyond a simple room booking system, mainly just to help with events and help knowing what there is to know about spaces on campus. Another big project that I'm working on, although it's very slow moving, is essentially communication. So how we communicate and promote events to students. The university are very interested in doing a comms audit, so essentially reviewing the email, social media, and any way we communicate and promote to students, and seeing if there's a more effective way to do it. This is quite slow moving at the moment. It has become part of City Campus because elements of City Campus are that students don't feel that they know about events and activities that are happening on campus. This was something that I felt as well as a student, and that's why I brought into this role. But of course, because it involves a lot of university staff members, sometimes it can be a little bit slow moving just because we all have different priorities and sometimes they're doing other things. So it's just finally kicking that into gear next semester and we'll see where it goes. We now have a new sustainability part-time officer, so I'll be working closely with them next semester to see our vision for sustainability in the student union and just to see where things go. If you have any interest in sustainability, feel free to join our Green Bubble sessions. They happen every month and all students are welcome. A final thing that I wanted to talk about was Movember. So we had quite a successful Movember campaign, and by successful I mean you guys raised quite a lot of money. The total was £10,104. That was a mixture of staff and student combinations, but I did want to give a special shout out to Leicester Medics Rugby Club, Men's Rugby Union and the University of Leicester hockey team, because you all raised over £1,000, so you should be very proud of yourselves, and it has done a lot for men's health. Right now we're preparing for refreshers, so all the intake of students in January, as well as some students who might have already been here in September, but seeing what other student groups and opportunities are available in the next semester. We're also preparing for a RAG month in February because there's a lot of national campaigns that month, so we're just seeing what events and activities we want to do then and contacting the relevant groups. So if you want to be involved, do let me know. It should be quite an exciting time.